You all know Paulie Walnuts, the silver wings in his hair, the tracksuits, the temper, the paranoia. But here's what most people don't know. The guy playing him didn't have to act very hard. Before he was Paulie on The Sopranos, Tony Sirico was a menace on the streets of Brooklyn, being arrested more than 25 times.
Ever go to jail?
Yeah,
How many times?
a few times.
In today's video, we will be talking about Tony Sirico and how he went from streetwise guy to playing one of the most iconic roles in television history. Tony Sirico was born in 1942 in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. He grew up in a time where wise guys ran his neighborhood. Tony, his mother, father, and 5 siblings lived in a small one-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. His dad worked construction. Money was tight. As a teenager, he chose the streets over school and started making deliveries for local wise guys. Nothing big, but he started building affiliations at this time. From this moment on, Sirico was arrested more than 25 times before he ever stepped onto a film set. The charges ranged from robbery to extortion, and in 1971, he served time in Sing Sing prison, one of the most brutal penitentiaries in America, for felony weapons possession. And here's where it gets interesting. While he was locked up, he was watching a group of ex-cons perform in a theater group. Something clicked, and Tony thought, I can do this. The acting coach who was in the prison at the time was Michael Gazzo, who was famous for his role as Frank Pantangeli in The Godfather Part 2. Gazzo gave Tony his business card. When Tony got out of the pen, he contacted Michael and started taking Michael's acting classes. Michael took a liking to Tony and brought him under his wing, something that Sirico would always be grateful for. Sirico didn't want to become a polished theater kid. He leaned into what he knew, that bada-bing wise guy style. He got small roles, background tough guys, straight mafioso Cosa Nostra characters. Sirico appeared in roles like Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese, Gotti in 1996, HBO's first movie, playing small but authentic gangster roles. Directors loved him for one reason. He wasn't pretending. By the late 1990s, HBO was developing a new series about the New Jersey Mafia. That show, of course, became The Sopranos. Sirico originally auditioned for Uncle Junior, but there was a catch. He told director David Chase he would not play a rat. No informants, no flipping to the feds. That was non-negotiable. Chase respected it and instead gave him Paulie Walnuts. Paulie wasn't just a comic relief. He was volatile, superstitious, loyal to a fault, a soldier obsessed with respect and tradition. And here's the genius part. Sirico didn't invent Paulie. He refined him. The hairstyle? His idea. The nail filings, the hand gestures, the way he said tone. That was Sirico. The tracksuits? That was his real-life fashion. He brought real street psychology to the role. The paranoia, the obsession with hierarchy, the triggered temper. This authenticity made Paulie feel dangerous, even when he was funny, and the audience felt it. But what made Sirico's story so different from other actors who played mobsters? He didn't glamorize it. He admitted he made bad decisions in his youth. He never denied his arrests, but he also said acting gave him a second chance in life, a legitimate life. For 7 seasons, he played one of the most iconic characters in television history. The Sopranos changed TV forever, and Paulie Walnuts became one of its most unforgettable faces. Even after the show ended in 2007, Sirico remained closely associated with the role. He embraced it, but he also understood it was fiction. He lived close enough to the real thing to know the difference. Tony Sirico passed away in 2022 at age 79. And here's the irony. A man who spent much of his youth in prison and running on the streets ended up becoming one of the defining faces of prestige television, not because he studied Shakespeare, not because he reinvented himself as something he wasn't, but because he leaned into the truth of who he had been and turned it into art. Paulie Walnuts wasn't just a character. He was a glimpse of a world Tony Sirico had seen up close and survived. If you watch The Sopranos again, pay attention to Paulie. You're not just watching acting, you're watching experience, and that's what made him unforgettable. Thank you so much for watching this video on Tony Sirico, and if you want more true crime mafioso stories like this, then please subscribe.